funeral this week, and he said, if it weren't for hope, I'd be dead. And that's a really good thing. You can be an atheist and drive for hope. You can be a Buddhist and drive for hope, whatever. But as a Catholic, can I drive for hope and connect that to Jesus in the Sunday Eucharist? That's what a parish is for. To help us grow in our capacity to make the link between our actions and Jesus on Sunday. The sacramental life is about raising our capacity to perceive, to have the light by which to see Christ in our life and us as part of Christ's life. That's what a parish is for. Okay? The Easter Vigil, so the rite of baptism, our first rite, our second, our final rite, the rite in between. Okay? As Sundays of the year. And then the liturgical idea. Whenever we go to church, none of us here, nobody here, has ever been to an ideal Mass. None of us have. It's physically almost impossible. But let me describe what an ideal Mass is. There's a diocesan bishop, not an auxiliary bishop, in our case, Justin Regali, who is in communion with the Bishop of Rome. A bishop, the bishop of the local church, who is in communion with the Bishop of Rome. In our case, that would be Justin Regali. With his entire church, 1.4 million Catholics in the Archdiocese. If we can find a space, in a nice enough way, where we could gather 1.4 million Catholics who freely choose to be there, with their bishop, we're on track to celebrating an ideal Mass. And then, forgive me, then we're gathered together for the 3 days of the Triduum. Holy Thursday night, Good Friday service, and the Easter Vigil. Okay? That is the liturgical idea. And then the climax of the liturgical idea. So the diocesan bishop with the entire church. Everything else is an abridgment. Bishop McGinnis, well, God knows why, but he asked to come here. Of course, I said yes. Bishop McGinnis, an auxiliary bishop of Cardinal Regali, who's in charge of Chester County, has asked if he could come here for the Easter Vigil. I said, of course, that'd be great. Great to have a bishop here. So that's a step up. It's not just a priest, it's one of our bishops. All the entire, but so you get the point. And this is just to lay out ideas. What they become, what these seeds become and go into, we'll see. But the diocesan bishop, the entire church, for Holy Thursday night, Good Friday at 3 p.m., and the Easter Vigil. Not Sunday. And when we're together in there, there's no obligation. When you come to the heart of, this is what I'm trying to say. When you come to the heart of any relationship, the heart of the relationship, obligation doesn't belong there. Because we're at the heart of the relationship. Now, obligation can lead us in our relationships on the journey to get to a heart relationship. But at the heart of all relationships, obligation falls away. That's why this is superior to the diocesan bishop and the entire church on a Sunday. Because we have to go to church. And then the climax of this, 1.4 million Catholics, Cardinal Regali, gathered at one time in those 3 ceremonies would be during the Easter Vigil, when he says, okay, you heard all this stuff? What are you going to do about it? What's your response? Stand up, if you're willing. If you have a sense of what you're doing, make a stand. Do you reject the Father of lies? And all his works, and all his empty promises, the Prince of Darkness? You believe in God, the Father Almighty, creator of heaven and earth. Jesus Christ, his only Son, born of the Virgin Mary, conceived by the Holy Spirit, who suffered, died, and rose again to save us. You believe in the Holy Spirit, the Holy Catholic Church, in the saints, forgiveness of sins, resurrection of the body, and life everlasting. I do. Great. Let's get on. 12 more months. I have just renewed my commitment to move away from the lies and into the light. And so I will live a life where I will be open to grace to lead me below the surface. Baptism means immersion. Below the surface, below skimming through life, into deeper relationships with life, self, other, and God. Be open to the truth, the whole truth, which is always more than I can take in right now. That's why I'm going to be stressed year after year. The whole truth about God, self, other, and God. Next slide. Point 3. Baptism as the start of and entrance into a process. Nobody is saved. Only rarely. A process that begins in this life and continues for most of us, except for the blessed Bible. Okay? Into the next life. And here we go. After being a Catholic for 59 years, last year, after celebrating Lent last stuff, this is the best, this is my distillation. My distillation 59, which is way different than distillation 32, okay? We are saved, not so much to a one-time baptismal ritual. We have a PowerPoint presentation if you'd like a copy of this. If you say, anything but a copy. But we also, I think, Dan, we're videotaping this, please on that. We are saved not so much to a one-time baptismal ritual, unless I die right after that, okay? As by a lifelong baptismal process. Baptism means what? Baptism is Greek. In English, baptism means plunge, submerge or plunge. Plunge or submerge. By a process of being led, a baptismal process, led by grace into a deeper and more complete relationship with the truth, the whole truth. That's why I can never be settled. There's always way more about life, self, other, and God. Okay? 4, conversion, transformation. So my life is about being changed, about being transformed into a kind of person who doesn't know God, recognize God, into the kind of person who does recognize God in my life, and my life in God. So if I drive for hope, even if the guy doesn't say, you saved my life, even if it says driving somebody to the gateway for a prescription, it's okay. It's part of Christ. It's part of this process. Okay?